We are back and we're talking Gasparilla. Obviously, this is the greatest holiday in America that only people in Tampa Bay, Florida know about. If you are listening to this and you're like, what is Gasparilla? Just stop watching this. No one would ever say that, but stop watching this and go look up Gasparilla in Tampa. It is the coolest holiday that nobody gets off work for. Think about Memorial Day, think about Labor Day, think about Independence Day, and then throw Gasparilla into that mix. That is the four greatest holiday days of the year. It is a day in Tampa Bay where you dress like a pirate and you growl at people and you drink too much and people throw beads and no one's even showing their boobs like for the beads. Like honestly, they're just throwing the beads. There's boats, there's cannons, there's horses, there's adults, there's children, there's underage drinking, there's overage drinking. It is a madness show that is somehow less disgusting than Mardi Gras in New Orleans or any other of those like white trash parade situations across the country. Gasparilla is hands down the best party holiday of all of them. It is the most fun day of the year. It should absolutely have a Monday or a Friday off to celebrate the piracy that exists in the Tampa Bay area. What's the origin of it? I don't know. Pirates apparently were landing in Tampa at some point in time. Cool. Now we're just drinking for it. Cool. If you've been, you know, you get an Uber, you take it to Tampa. There's a pretty good chance you're not getting one back. You're kind of left in piracy. You have to pirate your way out of the situation. You got to beg, borrow, and deal your way out of this pirate situation, or else you're stuck in Tampa all night. It's awesome and terrible and fun and delicious. And there's a lot of vomit. And you're very confused because you're like chugging alcohol out of some sort of contraption, a bong or a bucket or anything. And then people are walking by with like babies. And you're like, I shouldn't be in the same place as all this stuff going on. It is a mad show and is the best show of all time. I love Gasparilla. Gasparilla is really the only holiday where you can slam rum, get beads thrown at you, and then go grrr at a police officer, and the police officer laugh. Police officer might actually grrr back at you. It is the absolute best freaking day of all time that you can have. And the fact that we only do it once a year is an absolute shame to the quality of the holiday that it is. Gasparilla should happen at least like four times a year. It's a quarterly event. We could get rid of all the other ones. It's just so much fun. It's a great time. It's kind of a shit show, but it's honestly it's gotten better. It used to be a lot more vomiting and passing out, and now it's kind of like a lot less vomiting and passing out. And it's so enjoyable. Now, there's some logistical issues behind it. Like whatever your plan is when you go there, ultimately you never stick to the plan that you set out for at Gasparilla. Gasparilla ends up becoming a day that you're like, I wish we would have planned this. Oh wait, we did, but we're just not doing the thing we planned to do. That's Gasparilla in a nutshell. But one of the best holidays of all time. And one last thing, last year Gasparilla was scalding hot. It was super hot, and this year is freaking cold. And I love that about Gasparilla. That's the pirate life. The pirate life is that it might be hot, it might be cold, it might smell bad, it might smell good. Who knows? But you're a pirate. You're out there just doing pirate shit. Shout out Gasparilla. You the best. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, I got some Reddit advice we're gonna do. What's a piece of outdated advice that people still give but doesn't really work in today's world? The first one that came to mind was don't get in a car with a stranger. Because we all know like, we've probably all gotten in a car with a stranger this week and it's Uber. And we are doing this consistently. And luckily I haven't had any issues with that. But honestly, at this point, I'll get in anyone's car. I don't even. It doesn't even have to be an Uber. If some guy pulled up and was like, "Hey, are you going south?" I'd be like, "Yeah, like just take me wherever you're going." I'd do it. I mean, what's the difference between an Uber driver and a regular guy just hollering at you to get in there? So I think that's one that obviously is very very outdated. One last thing that we'll go off of here is I really would like to know the origin of chopsticks and forks. And I'd like to know at which points in history were those two conflicting. to each other, because it certainly seems like to me that there's some things that a fork just makes more sense for. And honestly, was it easier to make? I don't know. Where there was a chopstick, two sticks, you're like chopsticking it up. I don't know. I just went to a restaurant, Asian place. Would you like chopsticks or a fork? And I said, I'll have both. They were pretty upset about that. Like, we prefer people to only pick the one they want to use. I'm like, well, I do the chopsticks until I get frustrated. And sometimes it doesn't happen, but sometimes it does. It's almost like there's a third invention that needs to exist. We have the fork, the chopstick, and we should have the fork sticks. And it's like a chopstick with some forks at the end of it, and it also also stabs in. And you could grab the stuff a little bit easier. I love watching people try to eat with chopsticks who are like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done it. I was there too one time. People get so self-conscious about trying something new for the first time. Just try the chopsticks. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, quit being so scared of it. Like, it's not a big deal. But I think they're ridiculous. I don't think they need to exist. And they do. And we're just living in the society of like guilt-ridden chopstick eating fun that isn't really that fun if you don't know what you're doing, but could be a lot more fun if you were just willing to like take a blow in the chin and be like, hey, like, I also wasn't good at tennis the first time I played it, right? Then I kept playing it, and now I'm good at eating with chopsticks. Or am I out of my mind? Did I drink too many Sapporos? Maybe. Is the soy sauce getting to me? Yeah, absolutely. And do I have a wood chip in my mouth from the chopsticks? Yeah, most definitely. But that's what makes America great. You go to Gasparilla and you yell at people like you're a pirate. Then you go eat at an Asian place and you get a wood chip from chopsticks. That is America. That's the dream. I'm Tony. I'm out.